Why was the snowman looking through a bag of carrots? Because he was picking his nose. Did you find that funny? No? Well, then you might want to skip this one.
Next up on our Christmas marathon is Jack Frost, a horror comedy that was released in 1997. I know there is another film called Jack Frost with Michael Keaton, but if you can believe it, this film actually predates that one by a whole year. So what is the film about? Well, hold on to your pants because it might shock you, but it's about a killer snowman. That's really all the movie's about.
The movie is just admittedly dumb all around, but it's so dumb in a way that I can just enjoy it and have a good time with it. So let's not waste any more time, and let's jump right into Jack Frost.
The movie begins with a young girl asking her uncle to read her a happy, scary story.
And not only that, but this has got to be one of the most annoying intros to a movie that I have ever seen.
Uncle Henry, tell me a story.
No, it's late. Go to bed. Santa will be here soon.
No, I want a story. Please.
All right.
Anyway, we jump over to a couple of security guards that are transporting a killer named Jack Frost during a terrible snowstorm. The funny thing is that during this entire sequence, the two guards are huddled together as they drive, and I'm just sitting here wondering why.
It's not as if it's already dangerous enough being huddled up next to each other, but while you're driving out in a blizzard? I mean, what the fuck? Are they trying to warm up? Is the actual heater for the truck not working? What's going on here?
We're then introduced to Jack Frost, who is so good at killing his victims that he's able to kill the security guard with ease.
And he manages to do this while his hands and his legs are cuffed together? How?
The next time we jump back to these two, the guard is just on the floor with Jack stomping on his neck.
I guess Jack Frost is able to give even Hannibal Lecter a run for his money. And that's saying something.
Anyway, there's some other truck driver who thinks now is a perfect time to pour himself a cup of coffee, during a dangerous snow blizzard no less. Even if there wasn't a snowstorm, this is still incredibly stupid behavior. And not to mention this guy is carrying a load of dangerous chemicals in the back of the truck. Unsurprising to anyone, they crash into each other, and this allows Jack to escape.
And I mean literally escape.
The next time we see him, he's dangling his shackles and taunting the truck driver. However, the chemicals spill all over him, which causes him to melt into the snow. We're then treated to this cool animated sequence where his DNA somehow merges with the snow.
This has got to be some of the craziest batshit insane things I've ever seen, and it's only the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Anyway, we jump over to the main character of this movie, a sheriff named Sam Tyler. His son Ryan is making him some oatmeal, or some cookies, I guess? I don't really know. Either way, he doesn't have time to eat it, so he puts it into a bag and tells his son that he'll eat it later.
Which is good, because this actually will be important later on if you can believe that.
Anyway, Sam goes to check out the scene of a murder, and oh my gosh, will you just look at that dead body? That looks so real, so convincing, am I right? We jump back over to Ryan as he's making a snowman in his yard, but for some reason a group of teenagers tell him to move so they can go sledding.
Even though he's on his own property?
Ultimately, Jack Frost pushes him onto the ground, and then one of his friends decapitates him with a sled.
Bam! Go! Go, my favorite sports team, go!
Anyway, the police arrive on the scene to take care of the body, and what's funny is that they have no problem disposing of the body in front of the kid's parents, let alone the head being placed in a clear evidence bag. But as if that wasn't absurd enough, they also cover up the blood with some snow.
I can't imagine that this actually would make sense in terms of police protocol, but then again, nothing in this movie makes sense, so why start now?
As all this is taking place, the boy's father, for some reason, is lashing out at his wife.
Stop telling me to calm down! Shut up!
I would have expected him to be shocked, or maybe confused, or maybe show some consolation, but I guess not.
So anyway, their daughter decides to head out for the night to spend time with her boyfriend, and we get to see how he acts towards her as well.
You may not have cared for your little brother.
Jesus, Dad, I loved Billy.
Do not be forsaking the Lord's name in my house, little girl!
And the Oscar goes to...
She's only talking back to you because she's upset.
Sally, when I want philosophy, I'll turn on Oprah. Finish my scarf.
Oh, you mean like the one that you were wearing not 2 fucking minutes ago?
The husband then goes outside to smoke, but Jack shows up shortly after and shoves an axe down his throat. He then goes inside to strangle his wife with tree lights before shoving her head into a box of Christmas ornaments. We do get to see the aftermath, and the practical work admittedly isn't half bad. Anyway, we switch back over to Sam as he talks with the FBI. They tell him that it's now their case and that Jack doesn't need to get involved anymore.
Yeah, like that'll stop him.
We then jump back to the daughter and her boyfriend as they plan to have their date night inside of Sam's house.
Why are they doing this? Does Snowmington not have a hotel that they can go to?
So anyway, she goes to dry her hair while he prepares some wine. And what's funny is that he hears a noise from outside and assumes that it's Sam.
Sheriff Tyler, it's Tommy DeVroe. I'm not a burglar.
What?
I'm not a burglar.
Burglary. Illegal entry of a building with intent to commit a crime, especially theft.
Now, admittedly, I'm no expert when it comes to this matter, but I'm pretty fucking sure that's what you're doing.
So anyway, Jack Frost enters and kills the guy by shooting icicles at him, which admittedly is a pretty cool kill. We then get to see Shannon Elizabeth as she takes a bath, even though she just spent the last 5 minutes drying her hair, but okay. The next scene contains probably one of the most hilarious deaths I've ever seen in a horror film.
I mean, seriously, where else are you gonna see a snowman rape and murder his victims? Who am I fucking kidding? This video's getting age restricted.
Back in town, the characters are trying to come up with ways to kill Jack. They try trapping him inside the sheriff's station and blowing him up, but it doesn't work as he just melts and refreezes himself. They then try trapping him inside of a furnace, but that doesn't work either as he just reforms once again. Sam and Ryan get trapped inside the car, so he breaks the window and allows Ryan to escape. And out of desperation, Sam throws the oatmeal, or cookies or whatever, at Jack's face, which actually does damage him. This obviously puzzles Sam, so he asks Ryan what he put inside the oatmeal. He explains that he added antifreeze so that when Sam ate it, he wouldn't get cold.
This is an actual line that was written by an actual human that was actually put into an actual film.
Anyway, the townsfolk fill up the back of a pickup truck with antifreeze, and just before Sam is killed, he pushes Jack out of a window into the bed. But of course, one of Jack's arms wraps itself around Ryan, and instead of just pulling off the arm, Sam makes the genius decision to continuously keep dunking him into the antifreeze.
Well, considering that your son almost killed you with antifreeze, I guess you can just about call this even.
The movie ends with the leftover antifreeze being buried. However, we still see remnants of Jack left inside, which obviously sets it up for a sequel, which I would like to review at some point, but I still have other films to get to first, so maybe we'll get to it some other time.
So yeah, that was Jack Frost, and it's really, really fucking bad, but I would be lying if I said that it was not entertaining as all hell.
With the title and premise as such, I think most would expect that. I honestly worried that this would turn into a boring chore, but it managed to keep my interest throughout most of the runtime. The characters are whatever, but thankfully Jack Frost is entertaining. Sure, a lot of his lines of dialogue come down to really shitty snow jokes, but the way he delivers them just makes me laugh. The movie is just cheap looking all around, even down to the fuzzy snowman. The dialogue is corny as hell, you get the idea. But with all that said, it's definitely a top contender for one of my favorite so bad that it's good holiday movies. So would I recommend Jack Frost? Well, depending on the person you are, I would say yes, and especially with friends. Not to mention, you could turn this into a drinking game with the amount of snow puns that are littered throughout. Maybe just use beer instead of hard alcohol, though.
In any case, thank you guys all so much for watching and continuing to support the Christmas Movie Marathon. I'm still having a great time doing this, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. With all that said, guys, I hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and just be safe all around. And then until next time, guys, this has been ThatGuyMatt, and I will see you guys all in my next review. Take care.